Okay, so this is where ghrelin is punching you in the face as hard as possible. He's going like this, or he's whacking you in the face. What's up YouTube, Stephen here from Acast Fitness and Nutrition. This video will be 6 signs you're in a caloric deficit. So these are the signs where you can notice where you're actually in a caloric deficit, where your calories are under your maintenance. Okay, so this is where you notice where obviously you're in that state where you're going to be burning body fat. Okay, before we get to the video, please like and subscribe to our channel and press on the bell icon for more notifications. That would be very helpful to help us upload more videos in the future. Okay, so sign number 1 why you could be in a caloric deficit. You're losing water weight. Okay, so this is usually one of the first things you notice when you're in a caloric deficit. Usually within the first 3 to 4 days you start losing water. So basically that is where the scales dramatically drop by about 3 to 5 pounds. Usually depends on the weight of the person. The heavier you are, the more you are going to lose. So for example, if you're 150 pounds you could lose around 4 to 5 pounds, while if you're a 300 pound man or woman you are likely to lose around 10 to 12 pounds. Okay, this is because the bigger you are, the more water you hold. Okay, so yes, so the scales will dramatically drop. If you notice that within those few days you are eating in a caloric deficit, this could mean you're either under eating or you're doing too much cardiovascular exercise or / too much NEAT. Okay, so too much non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Okay, sign number 2 you could be in a caloric deficit. Your NEAT goes down. Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis will decrease. So what does this mean? Well, this basically means where your NEAT is basically where you're doing your daily chores, you're doing your daily routine, okay? Like you're going to the shop, you're taking your kids to school, you're cooking, you're cleaning. That's your NEAT, okay? So this is the non-exercise, okay? So this is not cardio, okay? Cardio is completely different. That's where you're focusing on burning those calories. Well, NEAT is where you're doing your daily chores. You're not focusing on the calories you're burning, but obviously you're just trying to keep yourself motivated, allowing yourself to be in that sort of caloric deficit, okay? But being in a deficit means your energy will go down, okay? So that's what it basically means. So when your NEAT goes down, it means your energy's gone down. You're feeling lethargic. You're not as motivated, okay? So that is usually a sign that you're in a caloric deficit. So a lot of the time, if you're at this, let's say twice a week you do the washing, or let's say you schedule to cook a meal every 3 to 4 hours, something like that, okay, and you don't do those things, let's say you're delaying both things, this basically means your NEAT's gone down. And when your NEAT's gone down, it means your energy's gone down, and when that's gone down, then obviously there's an obvious reason for it, okay? It means you're eating less or doing too much. You're in a caloric deficit. Alright, sign number 3, okay, that you're in a caloric deficit. You're hungry all the time. Okay, so this is where ghrelin is punching you in the face as hard as possible. He's going like this, or he's whacking you in the face. Okay, so when ghrelin is increasing, this means you're in a caloric deficit. This means your body's trying to creep back up. Okay, ghrelin doesn't kick in immediately, however. It takes within a week, usually. So let's say in the first few days, you might not notice it. You just be eating a bit less as usual, you're feeling that sort of satisfaction, but over time your body is then noticing you are pulling those calories down. So if you're losing a pound a week, for example, you're 500 calories below maintenance, your body is then going to realise, oh no, I am losing this much food a day, so I'm losing this much energy a day. Let's increase the ghrelin, let's lower the leptin. So what's that going to do? It's going to make you hungry. So how can you obviously deal with this? Well, there are sweeteners, like you've got Diet Coke, you've got like things like coffee syrups you can use, or just drink more water, load up on your spinach, do whatever you can. Make volume, we've got a video based on volume, or how you make your food taste amazing. Please do check that out, because that'd be useful, especially if you're trying to burn fat. But yeah, ghrelin obviously does kick you in the arse real hard when you're in a caloric deficit. The bigger the deficit, the worse it is. You want the leptin high, the ghrelin low, and if it's the opposite way round, you're in trouble. Alright, sign number 4 that you're in a caloric deficit: your strength goes down in the gym. So this is where you notice, so let's say you are benching around 30 kilo dumbbells, or you're pushing up around, let's say 100 kg on the bar. Then you notice within that 2 weeks, so you have that 100 kilo, and gradually it goes down to 90, maybe tipping down to 85, usually not by much in the deficit. When you start noticing that, it means you're not consuming enough. But it can be other reasons as well. It can be injury, but it also can be a lack of carbohydrates, okay? So lack of carbs mean also lack of energy, but your body will get used to using ketones after a while. Obviously, there's a video based on building muscle on a ketosis diet. Please do check that out as well. So yes, so being in a caloric deficit will, however, decrease your strength. Not by too much, however. Depends on the, like I say, the depth of the deficit. The bigger the deficit, the more strength you lose. Doesn't always mean less strength, less muscle. It just means less strength, less energy. Okay. So yeah, if you are decreasing strength, then that is one sign that you're in a caloric deficit. Sign number 5 that you could be in a caloric deficit is lack of concentration. Now this doesn't apply to everybody. Some people can concentrate quite fine, some people can't. For example, when I was prepping for my last show, I was in a 750 caloric deficit. My concentration was on the low level. I couldn't concentrate. I had a job that was involving working in a gym, and my concentration on people's talking, my concentration on making these diet plans, and making obviously these workout plans, it just wasn't there. I was thinking, like, what should I put? And I'll just be sitting there like, what should I type? Okay, would this food work well for this person? You know, it's concentration is needed. Obviously, you can drink your caffeine, you can have your vitamin B12, okay, to increase your alertness. You can have that, but your concentration will eventually go down. The longer the deficit is and the more dramatic the deficit is. So just beware, concentration could go down depending on the person. You might not, you might do, but you'll see. Obviously, if you're lacking concentration, check your diet out, because you could be in a caloric deficit. And last one, sign number 6 that you're in a caloric deficit: you are craving carbohydrates. Yes, so you are dramatically craving carbs. Now, being on a keto diet sometimes does that. However, you have to be eating carbs to crave carbs. Now, does this make sense? Yes. So when people crave carbs, it means they're eating little carbs, because you can't crave carbs usually on a keto because the fat diet makes you feel fuller. So that means that crave for carbohydrates goes down. But when you're not, and you're even on the low carb, moderate carb, or high carb, and you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to crave more carbs. Okay, this is very normal, obviously, when you're in a caloric deficit. Okay, cravings, it usually is either processed carbs, sugary carbs, as is known as simple sugars, or it could just be some unrefined carbs like potatoes that you probably just put a bit of barbecue sauce or something on them. It could be that. Okay, I used to crave donuts a lot when I was in mine, and it's normal, it happens. Just get a sweetened beverage or something like that, you know, a bit of coffee syrup like I mentioned before, tip that in a coffee, a little bit of that, a little bit of stevia, stir it, you know, or protein hot chocolate. My protein, for example, is a good choice, because it's a treat without the cheat. Okay, anything like that would work. Alright, so if you're craving carbs, find an alternative, a low calorie alternative, to make up for that craving, and you'll thank that food, and just eat it whenever that happens. Okay, even if it's pickles and jam, a little bit of pickles and jam ain't gonna hurt, but just don't have a massive bowl of jam, because the jam is gonna come to the calories and the pickles ain't. Okay, so just go easy on that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, this obviously is helping you guys to know whether you're in a caloric deficit, so just keep an eye on that. It's not easy to tell a lot of the time, so just look at your diet and just think, how much am I eating? Look at what you're doing on a daily basis. Check your job, for example. See how active you're being in your job. See if you're walking around all the time being a cleaner, or you're sitting in the office. You could be eating less in the office because you're doing so much work, or you could be doing too much walking around as a cleaner. You just don't know. It could be any of it. Okay? So please like and subscribe to our channel. Please follow our Instagram at CarterFitness90. We have Acast as well, so we've got our podcast displayed on Acast. We've got on YouTube and Spotify. Our website link will be down below, same as the Manic Muscle link, also down below, and our TikTok will be down below as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video.